Hello. I'd like to thank the elders for the opportunity to speak today, and I'd like to thank you for your decision to attend today. So today I will be talking about telescopes, specifically an equatorial mount telescope, which is made to be parallel with the equator, making observations much easier. If you were to just pick it up, though, and try to use it, you won't have a fun time. It's at a weird slant, and when you adjust it, the telescope goes in weird directions, and it just doesn't make any sense. That is, unless you know the trick to using it, which is getting it aligned to the North Star, which if you do that, everything seems to fall into place. One knob changes the angle that it goes away from the North Star, and the other makes it go in circles around the North Pole in a way that makes it so you can easily track the stars or planets as they move through the sky, much easier than any other type of mount. Now, let's compare this to Christianity. The telescope is us. The North Star is God, and being aligned to the North Star is being a Christian. When you become Christian, life becomes much better, though you may need to do things different than everyone else. So the way that you align yourself to God is you must follow the steps of salvation. You must hear Romans 10:17, believe Hebrews 11:6, repent Acts 2:38, confess Acts 8:36 through 37, and be baptized Acts 2:38. Then you must keep your alignment in order to keep yourself oriented. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 58 says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, forasmuch as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Another thing is that if you lose your alignment, you can easily find your way back, no matter what. An example of this is in the parable of the prodigal son, in Luke 15, verses 11 through 32. It says, "And he said, A certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided them into his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would have fain have filled with his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread in it, enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? I'll arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven, and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven, and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring first the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. And bring him hither to the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be merry. Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew nigh unto the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants, and asked what these things meant. And he said unto him, Thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he has received him safe and sound. And he was angry, and would not go in. Therefore came his father out, and entreated him. And he answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for thy brother was dead, and is alive again, and was lost, and is found. This shows that no matter what, you can always realign yourself to God. If you have lost your alignment to God, you need prayers, or are not yet a Christian, please come forward as we stand and sing the song of invitation.